Well, hello again, guys. It's Chris. From the Industrial Revolution changing our world to one of the biggest mass extinctions, here are 8 times when human interference with nature has gone wrong. Number 8. The equilibrium of the world. In the movie The Matrix, the antagonist known as Agent Smith, and one of my favorite bad guys, gave a speech to one of the main characters where he tried to classify their species. For the record, Agent Smith was a computer program avatar. His speech went something like this. I realized that your species aren't actually mammals. Mammals will go to an area and create a natural equilibrium with the environment. And you humans do not. You go to an area and you multiply until there are virtually no natural resources left. Then, the only way for you to survive is to spread to another area. The intent here was to show the characters that humans are a virus because of how we infect the world. We seem to have no natural balance. Do you agree? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. The world always leans towards a natural balance. And if you go somewhere that's been untouched by humanity, like the deep jungle or hidden lake or something, you'll see that the balance works. The plants, the animals, the waters of the area all balance out so everyone can live in a balanced cycle. Humans disrupt that cycle emphatically. We literally affect every aspect of nature in a large or small way just with our presence. We affect the food chain. We affect how and where natural resources are used and grown or destroyed. We touch the air, the water, the ground with our machinations. At a fundamental level, humanity has upset the balance of the world, which is why many claim it's dying, because we've upset that balance too much, to the point where it apparently can't be reversed, and we use too much and we need too much. To use another Matrix quote, you balance the equation, I unbalance it. And that's exactly what humans do. Number 7. Expansion. What country do you live in? It's an honest question, no wrong answers here. Now, here's another question. How did your country come to be in the area that you live in now? No doubt your people started out as a tribe or faction and settled in the area. Then they slowly started to grow bigger via natural births or the arrival of more people to the area. The reason is honestly immaterial because the result is the same: expansion. Everywhere that humans go, they leave their mark on the territory. That's the very nature of humanity. People have been modifying their environments for tens of thousands of years, added John, an archaeologist, professor, and director at the University of Oregon Museum of Natural and Cultural History. Humans have literally impacted everything from mammoths to microbes. Most people have no idea how heavily we've altered things, and for how long. Many people blame the recent generations of humanity for expanding too far into the wilderness and destroying the world. But some feel that this has been happening for a lot longer than that. Humans have been around for thousands of years, and each new year brings new expansions, which harms the environment in negative ways. A great example is the manifest destiny of the United States, where they went from east to west in order to expand and claim what was theirs. This hurt not only the Native Americans of the land, but the forests, rivers, and more, all because they felt it was their destiny to own the land they were on, and not respecting the land they had found. That's not to say that expansion is the reason the world is messed up right now, far from it. But in terms of affecting the world, the more people move around in it. The more people moved out into it, the less natural things got. Some even believe that there are no natural areas in the world anymore because of human interference. Number 6. Loss of rainforests and wilderness. Trees and forests provide much of the oxygen we need in order to survive. Despite this vital function, human interference has made it so that the natural-born trees and wildernesses of the world are slowly getting chopped down tree by tree to make room for farming and to use them for all kinds of manufacturing. And with each tree that falls, we're slowly dooming the human race. But why do we interfere? Well, it's simple. Because trees and their bark are needed for all sorts of materials that we have in our world. From the paper we use, to the tools we wield, to the logs we burn in our fireplace. Wood is a very versatile material, and that makes it very valuable. And that makes trees something we need to chop down in large numbers. And because in many places we also just need the space. What might surprise you, though, is just how thoroughly we're doing this job. In the last 25 years alone, 10% of forests were chopped down. If this rate continues, it's very possible there'll be no rainforests or wildernesses left by the end of the century. Granted, there are preserves where trees are protected, but as more trees fall and don't grow back in time, the need for more trees will grow. And they'll look to the protected areas. Even the Amazon rainforest isn't safe from this kind of interference, as there are multiple people and companies coming for its trees, and they're chopping them down at an alarming rate. All of these events are leading to a world where we won't have any trees at all, basically turning our planet into Mars. Number 5. Extinction. Humans require food, and for many, that means meat. And so since the Ice Age or close to it, we've hunted animals for food, clothing, and more. But when we hunt to excess, that's when things start going topsy-turvy. For proof of this, look no further than the elephants. Mankind has hunted many species of elephants to near extinction or full extinction, mainly because of the ivory in the elephant's tusks. Other times, it's just for sport. Poaching is illegal, but people do still get away with it. Another example is habitat destruction. Humans come in, mess with the balance of an area, and when they do, it can result in species dying out because their lands aren't what they need them to be to survive. Whether intentional or not, we're causing a lot of creatures to die out prematurely, and that will affect us all in the end. Since 1900, nearly 500 species of animals have gone extinct, according to a 2015 study. And that's pretty scary. I mean, just think, there's probably many animal species we never even knew about. Number 4, pollution. Without a doubt, one of the biggest things that humans do in terms of affecting nature is pollute. From simple trash that isn't thrown away properly to chemicals that we pour into the air, land, and water, pollution is easily one of the biggest problems in our world today. And it's all our fault. Animals don't pollute outside of the release of gases and certain other bodily functions, but humans? We are experts when it comes to pollution. Pollution in the oceans has never been worse. There's literally an entire island of trash in the Pacific Ocean, and it is miles long and wide. A fraction of that waste can be harmful to animals in the ocean, so now imagine it all over that area. The beaches of our world are filthy too when not maintained, and landfills are literally filling up with more and more garbage, much of which can't be recycled. And most importantly of all, the garbage is taking up more and more space. So where do we put it all when there's no place left to put it? Number 3, food growth. All life needs food to survive, and humans are no different. However, recent advances in technology have created genetically altered plants and crops that are meant to help inspire growth, but in truth, they're causing all sorts of harm, and not just to nature, but to humans too. Many of these advancements have been exposed to just be ways to ensure that people keep buying products, such as Terminator seeds, which will grow once for a certain season, then die and ensure they can't grow back no matter what. These seeds can go and spread to certain areas because of animals and wind, thus affecting other life in the area and hurting the environment. This is saying nothing of our feelings on bugs, which are instrumental in regards to how crops and other plants survive. Yet human interference has caused major harm to the bee populations of the world, and without bees, many species of plant won't get pollinated like they're used to. In our quest to make food more efficiently, we're actually hurting our chances of long-term survival. We actually have no idea how certain pesticides, fertilizers, and even genetic modifications will affect us in the long term. Number 2, damage to rivers and oceans. Even on a basic level, humans have gone and done a lot of harm to the rivers, lakes, and oceans of the world. But when you dive even deeper, you see how things are changing more and more. For example, because of the CO2 emissions caused by various things, including boats in the water, the oceans of the world are now highly acidic, and it hasn't been that way in millions of years. This kind of acidity actually hurts the growth of various underwater life forms, like sharks and crustaceans. Plus, the acidity mixed with the warming of the waters due to global warming, well, that's causing the coral reefs of the world to be damaged, far beyond what can be repaired both naturally and artificially. Heading onto the mainland, humans built dams of all sizes in order to channel water to their needs, or in some cases, use the water to make energy for a low cost. But because of this, the natural chemicals and materials that flow through these rivers and streams don't always make it to their destination. This can set off a chain of events that will hurt many ecosystems. On the other end of the spectrum, dangerous chemicals are drained into the ocean, causing irreparable damage. For example, the red algae crisis in Florida. That killed tons of marine wildlife and destroyed the economy of many fishing communities in cities and towns that live off tourism. And number 1, greenhouse gases. One of the ironic things about human interference is that it's something that has evolved over time just like us. One of the best ways to observe this is through the greenhouse gases that we are pumping into the environment right now. The invention of the internal combustion engine in factories during the Industrial Revolution created byproducts like carbon dioxide and monoxide, and other pollutants being put into the atmosphere at alarming rates. The atmosphere already has a certain level of greenhouse gases in it, but because of the overload, it's absorbing more than it can disperse in a good amount of time. And this has raised the temperature of the Earth, which has a massive effect on its equilibrium. Easily one of the most obvious effects to this is the melting of the polar ice caps and glaciers. This in turn is raising the water levels of the world. To humanity's credit, there are steps being taken to lessen the impact, but not all countries are able or willing to do this. And so long as fossil fuels are the main source of our energy, we're interfering with the atmosphere and slowly destroying our planet. Well, thanks for watching. It's a little depressing, but remember, be the change you want to see in the world, and every little thing you do counts. Be sure to subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you next time.